Good morning, CSL Reading. Good morning, lots of happy faces. Welcome, welcome everyone. If you're new with us here today, we invite you to pick up a welcome packet in the back. And if you would like a tour of our grounds, one of us will be glad to show you around. It's a beautiful piece of property with a meditation space and lots of special things that we have here in our social hall. We offer classes in here, and we gather in the social hall after the service, so please join us. This morning we are opening with music from Gwen Rooker, so welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. So it's so good to be here with you today. I wanted to start off with I'll Fly Away, Judy. And feel free, you likely know this song, so sing out. You're welcome to join in. Some glad morning when this life is o'er, I'll fly away to a home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. When the shadows of this life have gone, I'll fly away. Like a bird from prison bars have flown, I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Just a few more weary days and then I'll fly away to a land where joy shall never end. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Thank you. Thank you, Judy.
Thank you, that was beautiful. I'm Judy Carmi, and I'd like to welcome you to the center where we inspire and empower people to live spiritually fulfilling lives. The practitioners in service today will be available to do prayer with you after the service, right in front here by the bell. And if you would just now turn and wave to the camera and greet your neighbor behind you all at the same time, that would be lovely. Okay, I would like to thank the other members of the team who are here in service today in so many different capacities. So the sound team, the greeters, the ushers, the kitchen cookies, and all the other people that sometimes we don't notice and see. Thank you. Please silence your phones right now, and I will continue on to our focused announcements. To begin with, I would like to invite Dr. Kathleen Riley up to tell us about a workshop that she will be offering here. Kathleen?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kathleen Riley, and I'm a resident here in Reading, and I'm excited to be sharing the knowledge that I've gained as a practitioner with both the HeartMath Institute. We'll be doing a HeartMath workshop coming up on September 20th. And HeartMath, if any of you aren't familiar with it, it's a wonderful organization. It was founded in 1991. It's down in Boulder Creek, just outside of Santa Cruz in the Redwoods. And there is a science part to it, so we do research, and we also share this around the world, and their mission is to awaken the hearts of humanity. I have been studying with them since 2007, and I am a trainer, certified trainer. And I did bring HeartMath tools to Reading to some people after the car fire in 2018. I had just moved here in the summer of 2017. And of course, with our uncertain times that we're going through of transformation right now in our world and in our country especially, HeartMath tools really offer ways to bring yourself into self-regulation, call yourself back onto center. And so in the workshop, which will be very interactive, I will be sharing some of these tools with you. You also have an opportunity for anyone who might be interested. They do have an app on the phone and a Bluetooth sensor that you can use. And I'll tell you, it's been a lifesaver for so many people I've worked with. I've had the pleasure of working with people in the United States military, and I was in Washington, D.C. last October, as well as I've taught in schools, and we even brought a program when I was living in Cleveland to one of the middle schools for some of the more challenged children. And the results that we got over just a period of a couple months were amazing. And they came in they didn't have an app to go home with, but they took timeouts during their day if they were having a moment that was difficult. And they would report that, they were able to not be so reactive at home to family issues that were going on. They were able to pay more attention in classes. And I can go on and on and on, but I do welcome you to join me. It's life-changing. One more thing I will say about it is about their research. I am actually participating a little bit in a study that they are currently doing on the effects of a shared heart intention, so a group of people, non-locally, on nature. And I was on Zoom calls all this past week with them, where there were 250 of us from around the world, every possible country you can think of. And we were in a heart coherence lock-in, as we call it, to a particular tree. We're studying trees that is hooked up with different devices to be taking measurements that is on the HeartMath property. And this is something where they are beginning to see this is a first time ever done experiment, non-locally, that there is an effect that is being had on nature. And it's like, when we realize the power of our hearts and what we have inside us. To me, it's just miraculous, and so I invite you to join me for that. And then on October 4th, I'll be doing a workshop introducing the work of Dr. Sue Morter and her work called the Energy Codes. Just briefly on that one, I'll go into that on another day, but I am a certified Energy Codes coach and facilitator, and I am also the only certified bioenergetic synchronization technique practitioner in this area of Northern California. So I do sessions privately. Right. So I'm very excited to be bringing both of these things to the community. Thank you for listening.
And so now to our other announcements. I think Reverend Sue has an announcement, and then Reverend Mary will have an announcement about a watercolor class that's coming up, and then I'll take over from there.
Thank you. Good morning. Last week I spoke very briefly telling us all that Kathy Drager will be joining us Saturday coming up for a grief workshop. So I wanted to inform you that she needs to have at least 15 people to sign up because she's coming up from San Diego, and she's really put a lot of work into this. And I know that sometimes we think, well, I'll see how I feel that day. But if you have the calling at all, the need to have some of this grief work done and feel a sense of connection to your heart again that might be really struggling with any form of loss, she's here for you, and that's a rare opportunity to have her come and visit us. So next, if you could sign up, there's a sign-up sheet out in the foyer. I'd appreciate that. It just really helps us plan. So I'm giving you that heads up, and to those of you at home as well, we have reached out to various hospice and different grief groups around town to encourage them to come as well. So as a community, this is a call for healing in grief. So thank you.
Just to tag on that, we have had 2 10-week sessions on a grief support group here, and they're done, and we've been talking with each other in the group and go, oh, we want to continue. So I think that'll be a great way to kickstart this back up again. What I wanted to share is a lot of people have taken Shari Wyndham's watercolor class and miss her a lot. And in our memoir writing class, we had attracted a gentleman by the name of Mel Jackson. And he is an artist that is just an amazing guy up in the Mount Shasta area. He's had many shows in different places. And when he brought one of his art pieces to our watercolor class, everybody wanted it. And he said, well, I have prints, and we all want it. And he's really good. So he's going to do a 10-week watercolor class starting in October. And you can sign up, and it's only for 12 people, and 5 are already signed up. So if you're at all interested, be sure you sign up. He's really an amazing teacher. Thanks.
And so next, our bookstore and office will be closed on Monday in observance of Labor Day holiday. And on Friday, September 5th, we have our spiritual music jam, which is usually the first Friday of every month. That's a fun place to come and express yourself musically, spiritually. And that was September 5th at 7 o'clock. Saturday, September 6th, we have Awakening a Compassionate Place in Grief workshop. This is the workshop that Sue talked about. And that is Saturday, September 6th. And like we said, we need you all to come and participate and support this work. It's at 10 a.m., 10 to 2. Next Sunday, after service, Unlock the Power of Intention, a transformational 3-class series with Reverend Luana Godinez from 11:30 to 1:30 p.m. And she offered us a mini workshop after the service. I think it was a week ago maybe, and it was amazing. So I'm looking forward to joining her in this workshop as well. That is Sunday, September 7th, 14th, and the 21st, right after the service, after you get something to eat. And Monday, September 8th, Sacred Sisters Women's Group returns, and it doesn't say the time. 7 o'clock. Okay. Monday, September 8th and 22nd, the men's group with Roy Wolfstead, 7 to 9 p.m. In the sanctuary. And these are our announcements for today. You have all received an announcement little brochure when you walked in, and if you want to double check on everything, it is in here for you to look at during the week. Okay, and now for the reading. Labor Day is upon us, and on this Labor Day we pause to honor and celebrate the American workforce, which is the backbone of our nation. We recognize the invaluable contributions of all who have worked tirelessly to build, sustain, and innovate, shaping the country we know today. So as we reflect on this day, we must look beyond a general salute and acknowledgement and acknowledge the fundamental contributions of those whose labor has often been overlooked or exploited. We pay special tribute to African Americans whose forced labor as enslaved people laid the economic groundwork of this country, and whose continued fight for civil rights and fair wages has been central to the labor movement. Their resilience and determination have paved the way for a major, just society for all. We also recognize the countless generations of immigrants who have come to the United States seeking opportunity and a better life. From the railroad builders and factory workers of the past to the agricultural and technology workers of today, immigrants have consistently brought their skills, dedication, and cultural richness to our communities. Their efforts have built industries, enriched our society, and upheld the promise of the American dream. So this Labor Day is a moment not only for reflection, but for commitment. Let us honor the sacrifices of the past by continuing the work of creating a future where all workers, regardless of race, origin, or background, are treated with dignity, respect, and fairness. May we strive for a society where the labor of every individual is justly acknowledged and rewarded. So I invite you just now to lower your gaze, and please join me in recognizing and knowing that there is one universal mind, one loving presence that is the source of all existence. This present is infinite, it is intelligent, it is all-knowing, and it is powerful. And as I am an individualized expression of this universal mind, and my mind is part of the one mind, I am one with all of life. And as I realize and accept my total and complete interconnectedness with all of humanity and all of creation, I feel a deep sense of belonging, knowing that I am forever linked to the well-being of others. And as I know this to be the absolute truth for myself, I know that this is potentiality that exists right here and right now for all to embrace. I am so grateful to feel this profound sense of unity as I give thanks for the love and connection that flows through me, to me, from everyone and everything. I release this knowing and these words into the law, knowing it is already so. And so together we say, and so it is. And now, Reverend Sue.
Good morning again. Thank you for being here on this holiday weekend. You know, Labor Day is something that I don't often give a lot of thought to as a holiday. Yet, as I've contemplated it this time and the beautiful reading that Judy did, I'm reminded that our whole center here is held together by seva, by selfless service, by this love. And as I thought about this, there's a Unity co-founder, Myrtle Fillmore, and she said, every thought of love is work well done. And so we're remembering that over these few days, that all of the work that we've done in our own lifetime has been a blessing, a gift to society in one way or another. And those of us that have retired, and something cute about the word retire, Roger Teal, who was one of the founding ministers for the Unity Village, he was at this conference and he calls it rewirement, not retirement. But then I feel like when I say it, I feel like Roger Wabbit when I say it, but it's rewirement. And I thought, yes, we're always reinventing our way, reinventing ourselves. So there was something interesting from the revealing word about Labor Day that I wanted to share before I jumped into our topic. And it's a Hebrew word, avokta. She got it. Thank you. And it originally meant work, but it also means worship. Isn't that interesting when you get to look back on this? So we're looking at worship and service. And in biblical times, it was used to describe both physical labor and acts of devotion to God. So let us think differently together on the ideas of Labor Day and celebrate the work that you've done in your lifetime, and remembering all the gifts that we receive from those still out there in service and service to the one. So the title of this topic is sort of interesting because it's called Love's Descent, and Descent, because it sounds a little bit like descent, like all the miserable pity parties we've had with love. But it's not. Earlier this month, I think it was Reverend Lynn spoke to us about the ascension of love. And now we're looking at something that I find very profound as I've thought about it this week, is how this love, it's everywhere present, but how do we receive it? How do we take it in to the very depths of our soul, right? So that we're no longer searching for that right and perfect soulmate or love out there somewhere, come to me. No, we sit and we recognize this divinity of love is ever flowing. One of my favorite songs that this center was founded on many times was Love. You should sing it, Judy. Love, love, love. See, I can't do it. Our love. Watch our circle grow. Remember that? Oh, you don't? Lindy, can you just bellow it out? Please, save your mother. There she goes. Okay, that's okay. Let's just sing it like it's supposed to be. La. Oh my God, can we cut the film? How funny, I've raised you well. That's okay, I'm butchering it as well. I need Nadine and Dick here to help pull me out of my big hole. However, it is a song that we have sung many times, though some don't remember it because I'm singing it out of tune. But it's an idea, the idea behind it is to watch our circle grow through love. And this, I really feel the foundation of this center is based on that very idea. So this idea that we're going to share today, love's descent, can mean a lot of different things to you, and I totally respect that. But I want to hold the intention to pull our heart into a whole fresh understanding. There are some daily meditations from an organization that I came across that highlights Saint Sophia's wisdoms. And in particular, there was a passage from Richard Rohr, and I've mentioned him many times, and he shares this writing from a book he wrote, Simplicity, the Freedom of Letting Go. And he starts with a quote here, "Mystics have plumbed the depth of both suffering and love and emerged with depth of compassion for the world and a learned capacity to recognize God within themselves, in others, and in all things, the descent of love." So, as we look at this idea of participating with the divine, participating with God in life, there is another quote from St. Simeon. He's a new theologian, and it reads, "What I have seen is the totality recapitulated as one." We talk about oneness a lot. And this idea now as love as oneness is where we share today. And he goes on to say this, "Just as if you lit a flame from a flame, it is the whole flame you receive." Think about that. I thought about that for several hours. I was even going to have a candle up here and have us all do this thing, but then I thought, oh, with my luck, as it's going already so far, the flame would keep blowing out from the vents. But the idea of that, a flame from a flame, you receive the whole flame. And don't you know, oftentimes when you have a flame, how it dances for you? It's all on the same size wick, but it has this great expression, and it becomes you as you hold it. So Richard Rohr says that he takes off from that idea, and he shares this path of descent involves letting go of our self-image, our status symbols, our false self. It will die anyway, he says. So don't make anything absolute when it is only relative. He reminds us a possible meaning is the first commandment, "You shall have no other gods before me." Does that sound familiar? You don't have to be a Bible scholar to hear that. It comes back in many forms. And the idea is not, as I read that, feel that, it's not about having a certain faith path that has a certain name for God, that's going to be your only God. Because you can have many, many names for that divinity that serves your heart, right? Right? It can be Allah, it can be God, it can be Great Mother, it can be nature, it can be the mystery, Earnest Holmes, the thing itself, as he breaks it down. That is what we try to do with that which is nameless. So he's saying, we let go of our false image, which has often become our trap and our self-serving way in life. And we celebrate our life here on earth in those precious moments where our consciousness is stirred in these moments of awakening, touched by the Holy Spirit, so to speak. If we are clear enough and we remain humble enough and we share this reflection of light, of our understanding, it doesn't have to be everybody's, but if we're true to that which lives and breathes and loves within inside of us, we recognize this is only a fragment of God's vast love and beauty, but it's enough to live in me, that it reflects out, and our lives are meaningful when we then take our actions based on that part of our own being that is pulsating this idea of divinity and love and Holy Spirit, this goodness in all the acts of love. Earnest Holmes says, we are made out of and from life. An effect must partake of the nature of its cause. We must partake of the divine nature from which we spring. We did not create our nature. We cannot change its inherent reality. We are what we are, and we use this nature for better or worse. Life principle, love. I so value and appreciate the philosophy of science of mind as a continual open book, open at the top, an invitation to focus our spiritual journey. And first and foremost, by embracing our humility when we read and we might say, I don't get it. I don't understand this. Well, life will then, as we call that out, it will provide us information to instill our understanding and wake us up. When we engage from life in all of the fascinating times, but also equally so the challenging times, we can't get away from them, but we show up in them. We're not attempting to avoid any of it at all. We're truly seeking, if we can allow ourselves to truly drop to our knees and seek a deeper spiritual wisdom and understanding so we can evolve. You see, we can beat our head against the wall when news comes our way that just doesn't sit with our values or our morals. But go deeper. Allow that love, that descent of love, to go to the very core of who you are, to bring resolution, to bring understanding, and to let love be that which is expressed out of you towards all beings. So it's inviting us not to look outwardly all the time, but deep inwardly, to dive deeper into our experiences of personal growth, personal pain. And I do this work. It's not easy. It's not easy. I'd rather whine. But when I really look at this, if I truly am striving for an interconnectedness, for a sense of oneness, I have to let go of that false understanding. False understandings. Remember what I said last week that I took back from that forgiveness workshop is, what have I made this mean? What have I made this mean? It's so helpful, just that tiny phrase, because people will have an attitude it might sound like to you, and you can be in a hissy fit before you know it. You let the situation mean that. So this idea of dropping into a space of humility when it's most difficult, we do our best not to hammer those moments with our pride, with our righteousness. But no, we want to stay centered because there's a grace in humility. There's a softness of the heart that we feel when we sit with that. Because that grace calms those reactive patterns, guides us then to compassion. This heart is made for compassion. That's where, for me personally, I feel the grace. In my ministerial role, I get emails, I get situations, and it's kind of funny because I've had this conversation with Minnie. I think I even had it with Luana this week. There's parts of me that there's clear back when I became a minister, the whole time, I'm not going to be a minister. I'm just helping you guys out to finish the class. I'm not going to be a minister. I said that same thing in high school when we started our girls' club, our service club, the Orlocknians, and they voted me president. Oh, I felt so popular within myself. But you know what? I could not get out of that role for the whole 4 years of high school. Nobody else wanted to do it. I thought it was just because I was so special. And now I'm trying to retire, and it's not kind of happening. I feel like, am I back in the Orlocknians? Where's that next president? Where's that next minister? Well, they're out there. They're out there, and we'll know it when we find them. They will lead us with an open heart, full heart. So, with grace, with humility, we hang together. So, but I often get emails sent to me that really can sting. They could. I could be very reactive and write right back and say, don't like you either. Or sit with the pain. Sit with the ouch. What's this mean? And who are they that are hurting so that they have to lash out? And so you realize everything that comes your way is an opportunity to just pause for a moment and not have to have revenge or reaction. But what would love do here is such an important, and what would compassion do here? And what would a deeper insight from all that I have learned be the quality that I can offer back to this person? So I follow those stories inside of me until I can reach that seat of understanding. So that when I do respond, I can respond with a level of understanding. And what's most important to me is kindness. It's what I would want to receive. Now, I don't always meet myself there, not always. Sometimes I let my stories leak out to someone, usually Charlie. And it usually isn't a story leaking out, it's complaining, it's whining. But then I know, as I hear myself in the ethers, I have something here to work on. I have something I need to master here. So I turn from the whining, and I turn to the face of the divinity that's within me, that loving force that I know is ever flowing in all of us. Above us, around us, through us. This is what we always know. That's our truest counsel. This is I love it in one part of the text where Earnest Holmes refers to this as your friend, your closest friend. This beloved friend, then we can name it any name you choose as your God, as your divinity. But there's a knowing right there within each one of us, a gnosis. It's just a felt sense. No other words need to come in. It just takes us gently into an aha, an understanding, as if the candle was lit and we are one again. And our soul knows that. It's a holy, holy place. It's sacred, and our stories go there. And all the ways that we try to dramatize our stories, they go there. And sometimes we're bitter. Sometimes we're really annoyed and angry. But we go there. We are led to that quiet place within, into that heart space. And in that moment of humility, we're calling out to understand, to let go of our need to make comparisons and judgments and reasons for behaving as we are. Truly letting go and turning to God, who's already, this presence of the divinity already knows that your heart is opening. And that's something, whatever it is that has pushed us there, that's the descent of love. Fully now we embrace love. That's something that pushed us there. We surrender into it. Now, nothing explains this better than St. John of the Cross, who wrote about the dark night of the soul. And he was spending his time entombed in a prison, defeated, felt abandoned, lost, but still, this gnosis, this knowing, God's got this, I'm sure of it. I think of that, his anguish, his challenges. So Dr. Roger Teal at the conference from the Unity mentioned his poem. And so I took the time to look that back up. And something that Roger Teal says, we are living in a universe that is formed out of love, intelligence and substance of one life, God, universal spirit. This is not a distant or disintegrated deity, but a spiritual presence and power at the heart of all creation. The dark night of the soul. St. John of the Cross. Now, take yourself there. Be one with this gentleman in your own trials. In a dark night, with anxious love inflamed, oh, happy lot! Forth unobserved I went, my house being now at rest. His house, his being, resting into this knowing. In darkness and in safety, by the secret ladder disguised, oh, happy lot! In darkness and concealment, my house being now at rest. He's allowing himself to surrender, to let go. It goes on, in that happy night, in secret, seen of none, seeing not myself without other light or guide, save that which in my heart was burning. All he's left with is the burning of his own heart. But that light guided me more surely than the noonday sun to the place where he was waiting for me, whom I knew well and where none appeared. O guiding night, O night more lovely than dawn, O night that has united the lover with his beloved and changed her into her love. O my flowery bosom kept whole for him alone, there he reposed and slept, and oh, I cherished him, and the waving of the cedars fanned him. So here's his image of divinity created within his heart space as he's personalizing this journey of suffering, the moment of surrender. He says, as his hair floated in the breeze that from the turret blew, he struck me on the neck with his gentle hand, and all sensation left me. Now that right there, that phrase reminded me so much of when you are in a processional line at an ashram, and the guru touches you with their peacock feathers, and you're oblivious. You're looking around to where do I sit, where do I go? I weep, I cry, I search for a seat, I'm shaking. What just touched me? The undescribable, what just touched me? But you know it's a touch of this beautiful loving grace. And he says, again, he struck me on the neck with his gentle hand, and all sensation left me. I continued in that oblivion lost. My head was resting on my love, lost to all things and myself, and amid the lilies forgotten, threw all my cares away. Redemption. A lot there. A lot there for us. And you might wonder, well, what do we do now? What do we do now after we surrender? You lay there for a while. And you hold your own self, you hold your own heart, you hold your own love. You build yourself back up. With that is the greatest power. That is when we say, God's got this, God's greater than any issue that we come across, as long as we can surrender and let go. Pema Chodron says, in these moments, we think that we're protecting ourselves from suffering. We are being kind to ourselves. If we just kind of close down a bit, don't go there. Don't go to that party. Those people will be there. But the truth is, we only become more fearful, more hardened, and more alienated. We experience ourselves as being separate from the whole now. Yet, when we don't close off, when we let our hearts break, we discover our kinship with all beings. I always tell myself I'm going to come here and not be Debbie Downer, but these messages of divinity, as we have all been on this journey together and walked the walk and talked to one another and found our way and led each other from the dark place that you found yourself in. I was there for you, and you were there for me when I was in my dark place. We continue that journey, that reaching out, but ultimately in those moments is that divine light that seems to come down into us, through us. It just feels like that and awakens us, and we're set free from that. Now, there are guidelines for this, and the talk this month was supporting Thich Nhat Hanh's book about love. And so I copied a few of these in the back for you to take with you, the 5 mindfulness trainings. We've mentioned them again. It sounds so much as I move from heart back into head that you can feel like, oh, well, I can't remember all this. It's there. But this is what Thich Nhat Hanh, he asks us to imagine, if you were, aware of the suffering caused by the destruction of life. Can you commit to cultivating compassion now, learning ways to protect others, animals, plants, minerals? Set an intention to do no harm. Can you imagine if you were aware of the suffering caused by exploitation, social injustice, stealing, any form of oppression? Can you commit to cultivating, yes, and I know this of all of you, cultivating loving kindness and learning ways to work for the well-being of all people, all animals, all plants, and all minerals. To practice generosity, sharing your time, your energy, your resources for the greater good of all, not stealing or hoarding. And then, can you imagine if you were aware of the suffering caused by any sexual misconducts? Being committed to cultivating your personal responsibility and learning ways to protect others, to feel that you're a safe refuge, that you have this integrity, whether it's with an individual, couples, or families, or society at large, that you're determined to take the high bar there. And imagine if you were aware of the suffering caused by unmindful speech, the inability to listen to others. Can you commit to yourself at least cultivating loving speech, deeper listening, not to prove your point anymore, no, just to find that ground where we are on mutual ground and there's a happiness exchanged, a sense of inner joy to relieve others of their suffering, and thereby your own suffering is released. Because you know your words create a happiness, a joy. Speak truthfully, softly, to the words that will inspire self-confidence, joy, and most of all, hope. Hope in these days. Do everything you can not to spread the bad news. There's enough of that. There is that saying about the pony, the two twins that, are getting a gift. And there's a pile of poop. And one child just walks away, it's a pile of poop. The other kid's going, nah, he's digging, he dives in. There's a pony in here somewhere. I love that. That story is so relatable. There's got to be a pony somewhere in this brokenness. So, and finally, can you imagine being aware of the suffering caused by unmindful consumption and be committed to cultivating good health, physical and mental, for yourself, for your society, for your family? Mindful eating, mindful drinking, mindful consuming, ingesting. Imagine sitting down to eat from this day forth. Will this bring peace and well-being and joy to my body? Will this be the peace that's needed? So that's a breakdown of some of those. But we take this step if we choose. This is the adventure of living a spiritual life. And I guarantee we will possibly trip on our path, on our journey, and we'll forget some of these things. But just acknowledging that you forgot is remembering. So this week, our mission is to catch yourself, correct yourself with your tone of voice. That's something Charlie and I have to do sometimes. All I said was, well, yeah, that is all you said, but it sounded like, you know. And so you can say it again, and you can say it with kindness. Because otherwise, you're creating a habit. So we want to look at these areas and say, today I choose these personal actions, these personal behaviors that will ultimately offer a blessing. That yes, lotus flowers will bud under my footsteps because I'm choosing to walk in kindness and offer compassion. Staying in the presence. Being responsible as we leave the doors, as we leave the threshold of the center, which is a container of this goodness. But we walk out into the world and we allow ourselves to remain responsible and kind and compassionate and care for one another in every misunderstanding, in every difficult moment. We tend to the heart space and we don't close down. We stay open because this is love. These are the loving arms of the divine. So invitations for practice this week are for you to take as you please, and I'll have Judy come forward. But it's always the process of setting and resetting your intentions every day. Care for life. Care for this precious life. It's your life. Everything has cause and effect, so you're not hiding. It's always revealed. But we're making a difference. I know we're making a difference. We are the impact in our center here. That's why often in meetings I say this is a safe place. This has to be a safe place. Love is too precious. Life is too short to hurt one another, to betray one another. So let's follow love's lead. Take a breath in that divine channel that's ever flowing through you. As Earnest Holmes reminds us, as we stay open at the top, we ground ourselves in truth. We open our heart. And with great practice, we stay open. We are sensitive. As if the Tonglen practice itself is constantly breathing us now. We take in the suffering, and as that breath releases from the body, that suffering is transformed into grace. We breathe in what is hard to see, and we breathe out peace and love, compassion and joy. We breathe in, we let go, we transform. We breathe in, we evolve. We breathe in, and all that remains, as St. John on the cross, as we humble ourselves to the bare ground, we can quietly, humbly whisper, "Forgive me, for I did not know, and now I see. Forgive me." And we realize in that moment of transformation, the puddle of our being is being held and wrapped in a divine resource of light, wisdom, love, answers, guidance, strength, power, life, joy, truth, and we rise from the floor. And we don't walk out into the world arrogant. We walk gently on the earth, knowing that we care for her. We breathe the air because it is life source. We love one another because it's all we can do. So thank you, God, for a fellowship of people who are open to the gnosis of truth. I release this word, knowing that hand in hand and heart to heart and arms around arms, love prevails. Watch our circle grow. In gratitude for all of you here, I say thank you. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you, Judy. And Gwen, perfect timing for you, my friend.
I breathe in, I breathe out, I take in, I give out, I let go, I release, I know, I forgive, I receive, I can feel, I believe, I am healed, I am whole, I release, I know. No need to push, no need to try, no need to worry or question why. Surrender, let go, release, and know. I breathe in, I breathe out, I take in, I give out, I let go, I release, I know.
Let's all take a deep breath together, collective deep breath, as we invite the ushers to come up and release. As I prepare to give my offering, my heart is filled with love and appreciation, since what is offered here is for my spiritual well-being. I am filled with gratitude, knowing life stays in balance, for as I give, I receive.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so
I give thanks for the blessed donations received in this offering this morning and during the week. I know each dollar supports the spiritual family in many ways as we grow together, pray together, and give thanks for all that the center has been blessed with today and always. And so it is.
Want to come on up? Guess what? I have nothing else to say. I know. Hey, who applauded that? Hey, oh, ow, No, I just wanted to remind you of the upcoming September. Your newsletter is filled with all the dedicated time of the teachers of the center, and there's a variety of classes to choose from. And we do appreciate, just put your name down if you have the intention to explore and to grow together in community. It's just such an important part of your spiritual growth is to stay plugged in. So I appreciate all of your ears that listen and your hearts that are open. And so together we stay open all week long. So that was a perfect song, wasn't it? Don't you feel like?
Yeah, well, I thought that you had gone out of your way, and then maybe we went out of our way.
Yeah.
But maybe our ways are just merged.
Yeah. So that's the most beautiful song, and I hope those words go through you all week long. I breathe in, I breathe out. And I said I had nothing else to say.
Well, we can sing a little together now, a little more. You're very welcome to join in. I've got peace like a river. Yeah. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. Thank you. Thank you. Let's sing together once more. Let there be peace on earth. Please rise. Yeah. Good to stretch our legs and our hearts.